Matt Taibbi and Elon Musk seem to have had a pretty severe falling out. So on Friday, Matt Taibbi tweeted the following. He said, "Of all things, I learned earlier today that Substack links were being blocked on this platform." So this is right after his throwdown on MSNBC. "When I asked why, I was told it's a dispute over the new Substack Notes platform. Since sharing links to my articles is a primary reason I come to this platform, I was alarmed and asked what was going on. I was given the option of posting articles on Twitter instead. I'm obviously staying at Substack and will be moving to Substack Notes next week." The implication there is that he's going to leave Twitter altogether, or at the very least, he will not be posting any of his work on Twitter, which is just really, I mean, we talked a little bit about this when we did our impromptu live stream covering his return to the MSNBC network.
This had just broke, yeah.
This had just broken, yeah. But it's really, really a horrible thing. I mean, it really is just a shame. And this is why we've said over, people didn't believe us when we said this at the time, because we said we'd rather Elon Musk run Twitter than Jack Dorsey run it. But we have always said Elon Musk is an asshole. We've always said he's an amoral person. And he is. He is. I mean, this is just an incredibly disloyal stab in the back to someone who put his career on the line and really sacrificed a lot to put these Twitter files out. Yes, he gained a big following. Yes, he probably gained some subscribers. Yes, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, he probably made a few bucks, although Taibbi says he had to spend a lot of money
put
out
it
of
back
pocket
into researchers,
hiring researchers and things like that. But look at all of the contacts he lost. Now, I'm sure he would say, fuck him, he doesn't like him anymore, and good on him for that. But, as much as maybe in the eyes of like the Sam Cedar types, he was severing to the right, just as they say about Glenn Greenwald and Barry Weiss, all the people they don't like, oh, they're grifters, they're closet right-wingers. He was getting a little bit of that treatment pre-Twitter files, but not like he got after. Once
Twitter files, that's it. He crossed the Rubicon.
That's it. He crossed the Rubicon. There's no going back. And so and that's, when you're in the press, obviously contacts are important. And he gave all that up to break this story, and you fucking stab him in the back over something as petty as Substack is launching an in-app feature, a notes feature, which, once again, we use Substack as a main component of promoting our shit. I don't know what the fuck this Substack notes thing is. I never learned it. I probably will never learn how to. It's not a competitor to Twitter in the least. It's absurd that you would consider that competition and take action against Substack over it. I mean, it's just absolute nonsense. And so Brett Weinstein tweeted out here because, he kind of was taking Elon at his word that he was going to be pro free speech here. He tweeted at him, put the Matt Taibbi thing in quotes there and said, at Elon Musk, the thing where the left eats its own? We mustn't let that happen to the emerging Western values free speech coalition. Many of us who have backed your Twitter play and taken substantial heat for it are thrown by this move. The public square isn't a monopoly. Exactly. Well said. Elon responds to him with the following 3 points. 1, Substack links were never blocked. Matt's statement is false. 2, Substack was trying to download a massive portion of the Twitter database to bootstrap their Twitter clone, so their IP address is obviously untrusted. And number 3, turns out Matt is or was an employee of Substack. By the way, Matt Taibbi has taken the Twitter files out of his Twitter bio. He claims that his Twitter files reports have been deleted, although I think I saw the most recent one still pinned to his profile. And Elon Musk no longer follows him on Twitter. So like I said, seems to be a pretty severe falling out here. So in response to that, you had the co-founder and CEO of Substack, Chris Best, tweet out the following in response to Elon Musk. Number 1, Substack links have been obviously severely throttled on Twitter. Anyone using the product can see this. So so in response to Elon saying they're not blocked, he's saying they're shadow banned. I wouldn't know because we've never had a viral Substack article, but I have noticed when we have posted when we have posted Substack articles on Twitter, they have not gotten much reach at all. There has been a noticeable, like you would think, like even when we post a really juicy, clickbaity article, like one of the like when Roe v. Wade was overturned, and I wrote a diatribe against like the Hillary people for blaming us for it. I mean, that's designed to do well on Twitter. Not much. I mean, it did better than the other stuff we posted, but I have noticed that, and I'm sure, you know, high profile posters like Matt Taibbi would know that. Two, he says, we have used the Twitter API for years to help writers. We believe we're in compliance with the terms, but if they have any specific concerns, we would love to know about them. We'd be happy to address any issues. Now, I'm not a programmer. I don't know what any of this means, but the idea, back to what Brett Weinstein said here, which is that the public square isn't a monopoly. Like, if you're doing this in furtherance of speech, you can't be petty about Substack, you know, using features and stuff that to boost their articles. I mean, I don't even know what the fuck this means. Like I said, I'm not a computer programmer. I don't know what they're talking about. But the point is, very simply, you have to like be cool about that. Like, Substack is a free speech platform. If people are using that to get their message out and they're using Twitter to help boost those articles, come on. Like, what's the harm?
Also, it's good for you. It's synergy.
Yes, exactly. Right. Exactly. Ultimately, it's all engagement.
Look, you're very fucking lucky that these libs, as we predicted, are too intrinsically lazy and narcissistic to leave the platform.
Right.
We said that from jump when they were all like, we're going to Mastodon. What did we say? No, they're not. No, they're not. They have all their followers on Twitter. They are not. It would require a sacrifice, and that is something these people will never do. Make a sacrifice.
Right.
They are very into telling you what their principles are, as long as it doesn't cost them anything. As soon as something costs them something, they don't have those principles anymore. So, motherfucker, you kept all of the libs. You kept them all in Twitter. You kept them all locked in there.
Right.
Why are you doing this, man? Like, what are you, stupid? But you have to remember, this is a guy who's so emotionally immature that he called the Thai diver trying to rescue children from a cave a pedo because he basically said his submarine idea was stupid. And it was.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a fucking James Bond movie where we're going to bring in your fucking stupid submarine, idiot.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. 3, Matt Taibbi is not and has never been an employee of Substack. That ought to be fairly obvious. He writes at Substack and gets paid directly by his readers. That writers making money seems to be such a strange concept is telling. Yes, I agree with that. This is very frustrating. It's one thing to mess with Substack, but quite another to treat writers this way. That's the other thing that's so stupid about this and self-sabotaging about this is Elon has a lot of enemies. But he had a lot of very high profile and very respected and serious people on his side, or at least, if not on his side ideologically, at least willing to set aside their differences with him to say, hey, I respect what you did and why you did it, and I think you're coming at this from a sincere place. Why would you turn around and, as you just said, why would you torch them over something so petty and so unlikely to affect your bottom line in any serious way? I mean, it's just ridiculous. If you allow tweets from the Atlantic magazine, how is that different in nature from boosting Substack articles? Like,
and
why?
Right at a moment when Matt Taibbi is taking maximum heat to do this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right when he's going on MSNBC for the first time in 6 fucking years to defend you and what you're doing. You go and do this like that day. Again, just an amoral person. That's what I said. You know, some of these guys, man, they have no conscience. They have no ability to empathize with other people. It does not cross their mind what effect this has on a person or a group of people or an entire community of people. I mean, there was a certain synergy there between Twitter and Substack, right? We started feeling more comfortable. I do feel much more comfortable now that Elon has taken that over. There are certain videos that we feel much more comfortable about posting on Twitter than we do on YouTube because YouTube is still fucking, it's still East Berlin, as I call it.
Right.
Twitter, there's a freer atmosphere there. There's freer discourse there. There's freer discourse on Substack. So why not? Why not partner with them or at least not fuck with them?
Right.
Why not just be cool? I mean, for Christ's sake, how hard is that?
This is what I'm saying. The only thing that Twitter is good for is this political engagement. And the libs didn't leave. So you still have that. You are still the go-to place for political engagement. So don't fuck with it. That's all that you have left, that you could maybe dig yourself out of this hole that you got yourself in by very impulsively offering to buy this company for a ridiculous amount of money that you knew was not a profitable company, and then having to go through with it. He realized after he opened his mouth that he made a mistake, but they were going to sue him if he tried to get out of it.
Right.
Because that was a firm offer.
Right.
And at that point, the board was going to take him to court if he tried to back out. So then he had to do it. You know, it was another pedo moment. Yes, I'll buy this for $44 billion. It was a ridiculous price point to buy an unprofitable company that nobody had ever been able to figure out how to monetize. So, okay, you still got all of the people in there. In fact, from what I understand, and I don't think this has changed, Twitter has done better because you had a lot of people like us who really didn't use it, who went and started using it after he took it over, and the libs really didn't go anywhere.
Right. Right. I mean, it was more a coincidence that we started using it just as he happened to take it over, because we happened to get a little more popular just as he took it over. But still, as I said, you know, what I said a few minutes earlier, I meant, which is that I feel more comfortable posting certain things on there that we wouldn't feel comfortable saying on here or even on Facebook, which is a more censorious place, right? So you had that good thing going, and now you're just really cutting off your legs here because, like, look, if you're going to throttle the Substack posts, if you're going to be hostile to Substack, there's no doubt, and, you know, we are a relatively small operation here, but I feel much less incentivized to grow an audience on that platform now. I'm not talking about Substack. I'm talking about Elon's platform. Like, the point of growing a
what is
Twitter
the Queen
following
of Hearts gonna
is
do
to
tomorrow?
be able to pump out the Substack articles and the Substack posts, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. I don't go on there just because I like to troll people and argue with people. That's why Russell goes on, but that's not generally why I go on.
And I hardly go on.
Right.
I hardly go on.
Yeah.
I was just on for the last couple of days because we had that video go kind of semi-viral.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, no, just a really, really horrible move and just horrible timing. And really, I mean, just once again, just shows what an amoral sociopath this guy is. That you could see Taibbi is a little rattled from the events of the week. The whole MSNBC thing did not go well for him. I didn't think he got owned in the way that a lot of the libs say he did, but he clearly brought a knife to a gunfight there, you know, and so it didn't go great for him. And so he's clearly a little rattled. You had to do this now.
He's not enough of a dick.
It's insane. No, he's not an asshole. He's not enough of an asshole. Yeah, the only way to handle that Mehdi Hassan interview was to go in like Jimmy Dore would have gone in, which is slam back a few cocktails, and as soon as you see that red light, you start screaming until they throw you off the air. That's it. That's the only way to handle that.
Which that would have been a legendary. You know, that would have been like Brando turning down the Oscars. It just would have been one of those legendary moments in television history.
Exactly.
So yeah, you know, I mean, I don't like Twitter anyway. I don't like social media in general. I never really wanted to be on it. I realized that I had to. I've never used it for much beyond promoting projects. And yeah, I mean, the thing I will say for Facebook, unlike Twitter I really don't like. Yeah, you know what? In the past, you didn't know what those people you went to high school with are doing now. Now you do. It's kind of nice, you know.
Right.
That part of it is cool. But overall, yeah, I think it's very deleterious to people's mental health. And you really have to limit the amount of engagement you have with it. And Twitter, there's really nothing there other than to get mad at people and own people. It's just it's very toxic.
Right. No, I mean, look,
that's not post Elon. I never liked Twitter
for
that reason. That's what it is. Somebody once described it best as an emotional toilet bowl.
Please clap.